Welcome everyone to Talented Universe on this, I still can't believe it, 22nd of August, 2025. This month is just flying by. But I would like to just say hi to my co-host, Marcia. Marcia, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm here in Northeast Florida. It's not too hot today, but I'm glad to be here. Friday.
And Marcia, you go ahead and introduce our fabulous guest for today.
Yes, I'm so pleased to be able to introduce Jordan Beltz, who is multi-talented actress, producer, stunt person, host. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm happy to be here today. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And you're currently in LA, but you're Pittsburgh born. Is that correct?
Born and raised.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh, you have been involved deeply in independent films in Pittsburgh in your school years, and so what was it like growing up in and being in the Pittsburgh film area? What kinds of energy?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the first word that comes to mind is warm. I love Pittsburgh filmmakers with all of my heart. They are the most hardworking, kind, like close-knit individuals too. It's a small community versus Los Angeles, which is a huge pond for artists, but it's a smaller community, but they're mighty. They're not to be underestimated. I have made the coolest projects back home. And there's just a certain scrappiness that I love too. All kinds of things. And I mean, I started film and TV in college. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I ended up going to Point Park University is where I went to school there. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and there I just absolutely jumped headfirst into film and TV. And I discovered, oh my gosh, yeah, this is it just reaffirmed that this is what I wanted to be doing. I knew I always wanted to be an actor, but I think just being around, like they have a cinema department there too, that really just kind of locked it in for me of like, oh yeah, this is absolutely where I want to be. We've done all kinds of crazy shoots over there. Like you name it, we've probably done it.
Well, one I particularly I watched was I think was one of your senior thesis film was Green Hat Diner.
Yes, Green Hat Diner was an incredible experience. Zoe Zandra and Olivia Busby were incredible co-directors for that. It was the wildest shoot I think I've ever been a part of in college. It was all overnights. We were shooting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in like the middle of winter, which is a crazy time to be a student. We had to like lug in a 350-pound clawfoot bathtub into a diner.
I remember seeing that.
Things that you would never think about happening, we've done. And then I went through a glass door on that set accidentally. I mean, there were some interesting things, but that film is so special to me, and it ended up touring worldwide in festivals, which is incredible to say. And I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, the atmosphere that you created in that film was tense. It was dark. You didn't know what was going to happen from one minute to the next. Even some of the shots I noticed when you first came into the diner and you were talking to the waitress at the counter, and behind you there was this person sitting in the chair who was, it was really well done. I enjoyed it immensely.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll have to pass that along to them too and let them know.
Well, it seems you have a love of horror and scream films. Where do you think that came from?
I think there's a special like part of Pitt. I think that's a Pittsburgh thing too. Pittsburgh loves their horror films. There's a community that really loves it. And I mean, my first one, I kind of happened to me, honestly. I didn't really seek horror. It just kind of became like I became a horror actor. My first one of my first films ever was called 1031 Part 2 Treaters, and it's a horror anthology. You can get it on Blu-ray, but there were mock trailers at the beginning of this anthology, and our project Treaters was one of the mock trailers. And my director Zane Hirschberger, I auditioned for a project of his when I was maybe like 19, 18, something like that. I was young. And they were like, you're a little too young for this. We're putting you up. We would be putting you up against a guy in his mid-30s as a romantic interest. Let's not. And I was like, fair enough. He's like, we really want you for this project. What do you think? I played like an Amelia Earhart Halloween costume dressed character who ends up getting gutted. And that was just a blast. But I think that's kind of what, because I'm never usually someone that watches horror necessarily, but I love a psychological thriller. But there's something about making horror for me that is so much fun because I love deconstructing it all. I love seeing how a horror film is made. And that was, I just kind of opened my eyes. And then I was like, from there, it was Green Hat Diner and all these other like indie things. It was, I don't know, it just started a chain reaction.
Because when I was looking at several of your pieces in the horror genre, I was wondering if you had some influence by people like Lloyd Kaufman, who has done a lot of independent film trauma pictures for decades, or certainly Stephen King, that kind of thing. So what have you been watching, or do you watch? You mentioned you don't really watch horror films much.
It's I mean, I love a psychological thriller. Like Last Night in Soho comes to mind. That was one of the films that I was just like, whoa, that's awesome. I just saw Weapons in theaters. That was incredible. Sinners was incredible. As far as like classic horror, that's always been a bit between the director of Treaters, Zane, and I. Where he's like, hey, have you seen this movie? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, you should, because then this happens, and then this happens, and then there's this really cool fight scene. And so he'll go on and on about that. And now my list is just like, so many horror films. So it's interesting where I haven't seen too many, but then anytime I do watch something, or like, he's like, all right, just like one clip, like just watch it really quick. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So it's, I don't know why it's never been something that I've like been locked into. Who did you say? Lloyd Kaufman?
Lloyd Kaufman. He has been an independent filmmaker for, I want to say, 4 decades. And he does all independent. His company is Troma, Troma. He did Toxic Avenger and a bunch of other.
Yeah, okay. I know Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that would be something that it might be fun for you. But I'm going to go to Michael because it looks like we have some people in the.
We do have some people in the chat room, but first, I'm going to get on, kind of what we've been highlighting for the last little while, verticals. How many verticals have you done? Marsha went over your independent stuff. How many verticals have you done that are out, or that are coming out, or?
I have done 6 in total.
6 in total. Now, I have a question for Blood and Promises mated to the Alpha.
Okay.
Your character, Nora, I think that's what it was.
Yes.
You were so mean.
He's laughing.
So good.
You were so mean, and it was so good. Honestly, that's when I wrote you. After I had seen that one and I saw your performance, I said, I've got to get her on.
Oh my gosh. That project was so much fun to be a part of. And Alex Watts, she's from Pittsburgh. I've known her since I was 15.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we had one of the other actors from that.
Brian O'Shea.
Brian O'Shea.
Oh, he's great too.
Yeah, we had him on. Was it this week?
Yeah,
It was
past
this week. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One day we had 3. I think it was Tuesday. He was on Tuesday.
Oh,
Right.
he's an incredible scene partner and an even more incredible human.
Yeah. So I mean, that was just so cool, and I just said I've got to have her on. So I just had to ask that. But Arc 54 has a question for you. As an artist, what do you want your fans to take away from your performances?
I think about this a lot, because I think it obviously every genre is different, and there's different lessons from every piece, right? With verticals, I think it's just a reminder to have fun and to not be afraid to take up space and to be too big. There's something about verticals where it feels like theater captured on camera, where everything feels larger than life. And I really love getting to explore in that space. I think in general with my art, I think it's just to be the fullest version of yourself without apology, and just to embrace every highlight, every flaw, every single piece of you. And I think growing up, I was a very shy kid, but I knew I always wanted to be an actor. And I think it was because I could then explore and be the most expansive version of myself, and be loud and be this and be that. So I think that's kind of the thing, is just like, take up space, have fun, don't take life too seriously.
And Arc 54, just got to follow up. I'll throw this now to my question. Who do you prefer playing, good girls or bad girls, like you did in Blown Promises?
Oh goodness. I mean, apples and oranges. Come on. I think there's a part of me that loves playing a protagonist, especially one that's strong and one that can fight back. I think regardless with any, there has to be like an inner strength for me. I love an actor, or I love a role that gets me to fight in whatever sense of the word, whether emotionally or physically. But I think there's something about, I didn't really play too many antagonists until the vertical world. And there's something that's so freeing about that, where I feel like a switch flips and I'm just like, oh, this color is coming out to play today. All right. And it's not a side that I typically explore. So it feels really fun to get to play a baddie.
Do you find it's more fun to play the baddie?
Yeah, because it's not a color that I wear day to day. So because I don't, when else do I get to use it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, the Max Amount asks, you have done voiceover work for commercials. Would you want to do a longer project, like a Disney movie, like Rio or Up as an example?
Hands down, yes. Absolutely, yes. Any chance that I get to do voiceover, I have an absolute blast. That's awesome that they found my commercial work. Hi. But I love it. I love it so much. And I just, my mentor, David Babbage, he teaches voiceover classes, and he's been a voiceover actor for decades. He kind of just opened up my eyes in terms of like how you can play with your voice and in different ways. So I owe a lot of that creativity to him, and just like inspiration for the world of voiceover.
Yeah.
I would love to do something animated. I think that would be so fun. Or an audiobook. I would love an audiobook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've known some people that have done audiobooks, and they just love it. Especially if they're into the genre of the book. They just go wild.
I want to do like Matthew McConaughey bedtime stories. I just don't have the croon that he does, or the voice quality that's so just like soothing.
Yeah.
You can find something else. You find your niche, so whatever. I'm going to save this one for the next round. Marcia, go ahead.
Well, to kind of follow up in your vertical roles, you were in Python Attack Run,
Yes.
which was hysterical, but the kind of comedy, horror kind of, it seems it suits you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Blending the two is really fun. When we get to do that, oh, I have a ball.
Mm-hmm. And you're also involved in stunts.
I am.
Yeah. So, and yeah, how do you have incorporate that into your vertical roles?
Well, funny enough, I just stunt coordinated one. I forget the title that it shifted to because we had our working title, but it was with Kirby Elwood, and she was lovely. But Laura Faye Smith, August, who I just worked with. I worked with both of them. What was so funny is I choreographed Laura and August, and then I acted with them on the following project. And I was like, oh, hey guys. So that was really cool. There was a fight sequence that the director and I named The Matrix because it was like 5 or 6 actors that were just constantly swinging punches and blows. And it was like chess choreographing that. But it's so much fun. I have a huge love for stage combat ever since college. And I'm certified through the Society of American Fight Directors in unarmed, so hand-to-hand, single sword rapier, and quarterstaff. So I love swords. Swords are great. I would love more swords. Swords and verticals would be delightful. Just putting that out there in the universe.
So and with your expertise at sword play, and earlier we were talking about the new show, The Librarians, The Next Chapter, which we know you have to watch now.
I need to watch the new one because I love the movies.
Which they do incorporate sword play and combat and that kind of thing. So I was thinking, oh man, you need to get into we need to get you in and maybe into that kind of world of sword play and swinging in on chandeliers, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to do I think that was what was really cool about Python, but I want to do like a thriller adventure movie so bad. That's totally on my bucket list for sure.
And with doing stunts, I admire your stunt work because there's so much computer generated stuff going on, real physical work. I know it can be dangerous at times, but it adds such realism to it, where you know that there's somebody in there who's doing some fighting, doing some stunt work, doing some things like that. How do you feel about the physicality and realism of stunts?
The thing about movement is that any sort of physicality like that, it just throws you right into the present. And I love that. I know exactly how a character is feeling because I'm experiencing it myself. Now, obviously, I'm not going to jump from a 20-story building if I don't need to. Leave that to a professional fall guy, or that then we can incorporate some CGI and what have you. But it's incredible that people do that. I think that one of my favorite things, especially having the training that I have, is that I know how to bring myself to the work in a safe and sustainable way, but also have a ton of fun. I love stuff like that, and it just like activates me. I grew up dancing too, so it just activates my body and mind in a different way that I feel is more full.
When I watch you, you generate physicality through your movements. Even when I was watching some of your earlier work, that you can almost tell that you're a physically fit person because it comes across to the screen. And it's interesting because when we first started doing things over the internet so much, I questioned whether people would be able to reach across and grab you. But people with skills such as you have really do that, and I thank you for that. Yeah, and
That's also kind. Thank you.
And I also understand that you have been an intimacy coordinator, and explain to us what that is and how that is incorporated into verticals, say for instance.
Yeah, so while I haven't done it for verticals, I do appreciate the ICs that come onto set for them. every time. I'm really thankful for their role in the process because, you know, we have some spicy scenes in verticals. But an intimacy coordinator serves as a bridge between the actor and production. So the director, the producers, the writers, all of those people. And if I am an IC, my role is to advocate for the actor and their needs, their boundaries, while also figuring out a bridge between that and the script. Because what if there is like some alignment, right? How do we create that conversation to where both parties are happy, are safe, and they're getting the story told well? Mm-hmm. And there's something about like a power dynamic between actor and production where it can be hard to speak up about what you need. Yeah. Or you want to be a yes man, right? As an actor myself and being in both roles, I know that where I'm like, oh, I want to, you know, I don't want to set the day back, or like, you know, I have this concern, but I'm not really sure how to bring it up. And, you know, maybe it's just fine. Like we could just like go through and like, just get it done. But it's like, okay, but are we able to bring our full selves to the story, to the character, if we're rushing ourselves through it or trying to convince ourselves to do so? So an IC is able to say, hey, like, let's just take a second. Let's talk about the story. All right, now choreography. Let's break it down so it feels like dancing more than it does anything super intimate, right? And it makes it a little bit more kind of sterile in a way where it's like, all right, let's break it down step by step, like 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's like, oh, okay, well then that's easy. That seems right. And then it takes any sort of nerves or pressure out of a situation. Because this is a very emotional business.
Yeah. So I can see the importance of having someone on set that you can go to and not feel that what you say might be taken the wrong way by more higher ups, kind of, sort of. And so you're kind of a safety net in a way.
Yeah. And sometimes directors need that safety net too, the other way around, right? Where they're like, hey, I really want to like make this moment like really special, but I am not sure that I have the language to be able to respectfully, or, you know, I want to make sure that I'm getting my message across well, and in the right way. So I can say, okay, great. Well, let's talk about it. Like, let's say it's a kiss. All right. What do we want the quality of this to look like? Is there any duration? Is there like a speed? Is there like a level of force? Like, let's break it down by quality. And then I can take that language and bring it to the actor and say, all right, this is kind of what we're aiming for. How does this sound? So it's kind of a two-way street where it benefits both. But ultimately it's I feel like a translator in a way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Michael, did you want to?
Yes, I've got, you brought up the fencing and fighting and stuff. Arc 54 says you have a background in swordplay stage combat, but you knit. Have you tried to incorporate all the skills in one project?
Oh, wow. Listen, I would love to. Have you seen Foul Play with Goldie Hawn?
Yeah. Yes.
Listen, we get a project like that together where I stab someone with knitting needles or it turns into a fight. And then I'm like, all right, hang on, knit one, purl one, cast off. All right, we got a sweater. Let me step back, put that to the side. All right, I'm back. I would love to do something like that. Absolutely.
That would be fun for you. Okay, and the max amount says, I really must know. In the notebook scene with Eric Gilmet, in the fake rain, how cold was the water and the temperature of the air? I know someone said once, Eric, I believe you both froze to each other.
Oh, goodness. Wait, what is this? I don't know this.
Oh, maybe they're thinking of somebody else.
They might be, but I would love to act in rain, though. I tell you what, I would love a rain scene.
Oh, so you have not done a rain scene?
I've done very, very cold temperatures, but I've yet to do rain, I believe. I would love to do a rain scene. Just the drama of it all. Oh.
Well, I can say that because we have had some people that have had rain on, and they say that it's
cold.
It could be cold, and usually they say that they get more rain on them than they thought they would. because they have to put more on. They try to get it off camera, so it looks like there's rain in front, but it's like whatever.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. Movie magic. Now, we usually ask our guests this because a lot of the people that watch these they have not seen it. They've not seen a vertical drama. They don't know what a vertical drama is. And when I first told people that's what I was going to start interviewing people about, they gave me such funny looks. When people give you funny looks when you tell them that you're doing vertical dramas, how do you explain it to people?
Oh, the first word that comes to mind is addictive. Because they're designed that way, right? We look at them
that way. Yeah.
On Instagram and we're just like, wait, okay, this is really good. And I feel like there's a part of us that's like, what is this? Like, ooh, or it like pulls at our heartstrings in a very specific way. But they feel like they're like telenovelas cranked up to a 10. They're like any soap opera cranked up to a 10.
Or 12.
To the 100th power.
Mm-hmm.
If you name like any one trope in any soap opera, amnesia, a surprise baby, a marriage, a scandal, all of those, and now put 10 more tropes on it, and then we have a vertical. And they're all in one, and they're all very, very big characters that are larger than life. Crazy circumstances, lavish outfits normally, especially as the antagonists. Corsets maybe, depending on if it's a period piece. And they're just so much fun. I hear you though. I did my first vertical in 2023. It was right around the time when they were pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
It was a vampire werewolf romance. I was the lead in that. And I think it was called My Maid is a Vampire. Yes. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool, but that's also not what I expected. And now having done I did a ton this year, which was just like incredible. We love being able to work and come to set and be able to make something awesome. Now I really understand the place in the market now. And I was overhearing, I think, a costumer on one of the sets, and he's like, yeah, people are watching this all across the country. And, it's really giving people like a safe place to just be able to watch content and explore and have fun. And I don't know, it's become like a real comfort show for people. And I'm like, really? And I don't know, I think it's just like, it's such an incredible experience to be a part of.
Yeah. And then Arc 54, to follow up to what I just asked you, she wants to know, how did you get involved in verticals?
Moving to LA. I moved to LA in 2023. I signed with my reps that I'm still with to this day, and started submitting through them and got my first vertical. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And there's nothing quite like it. It feels a lot like, it actually does feel a lot like filming for a soap opera. You're shooting 11 to 14 pages a day, which
yes.
In a typical like horizontal, it's maybe like 5 pages a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big day, right? So to be shooting all day in 12 hours and make your days consistently, I'm playing with a hair clip, to be able to just knock that out, it feels like, I don't know, you feel electric. And that alone gets addictive from the artist perspective, because we're like, we did that and we made it. Let's do it again.
And that's what some people do. And she also asked, how many verticals have you done? You told us off air, but
I have done 6. So I've done 5 as an actor and then 1 as a stunt coordinator.
Did you enjoy being the stunt coordinator for the one that you did?
Oh yeah. And it was really cool to just like be crew on a vertical, because that was the first time I'd crewed on one. And it was really nice to be able to, because it was my first time ever, going to monitor and seeing Video Village and just being like, all right, let's get this shot. All right, we need to move this punch a little bit to the left. Got it. All right. What do you think? All right, yes, I can tell them. All right. It's just a fun way to be involved in the process. And I think that made me fall in love with the storytelling of Verticals even deeper, because I was able to really focus on crafting the moment from a different angle. Just a ton of fun.
Is there one theme of the Verticals that you've been in that you have more fun or enjoy doing more than another?
Oh,
Vampire, werewolves, billionaires, mafia. Do you have a favorite?
I think I do like the werewolf vampire ones. I think they are my favorite. I'm a huge sci-fi fantasy nerd. So I am a huge fan of Teen Wolf. I grew up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There you go.
That's my jam. So anytime you bring that kind of stuff into my world, I'm all over it.
Well, then that makes sense. Then that's why I thought you did such a good job with.
That was so fun.
Yeah, Marsha, I'll throw it back to you.
I heard that they're making a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
They are.
Yeah. So that'll be something you can watch. And isn't there a musical? They do. There's a musical episode, I think, for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which at sci-fi conventions we do a lot. And everybody takes part. It's sort of like Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of vibe.
But they do the Buffy episode?
Yes, the Buffy sing along.
Guys,
you have to get in on one of those in LA. There's a Comic-Con that happens in LA in Anaheim, WonderCon, that's going to be in March. And so if you've never been to a Comic-Con convention, that might be something you might enjoy.
I haven't been. And I don't consider myself a singer, but listen, if it's for the Buffy musical episode, I will, here's my 32 bar cut. I have sheet music. I will come prepared.
Well, I'll keep you notified about that. I might actually be doing some panels there. I produce panels for comic conventions sometimes. So
Cool.
Just so you know, you never know. You'll probably be really busy, but you never know. And and also thinking about your stunts, I recently rewatched Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. If you've never seen that, Jackie Chan does some amazing stunts. He does all of his own stunts. He's in just out of this world, things you wouldn't believe. Just something to inspire you and laugh and enjoy.
I love these recommendations. Thank you.
But so how, nuts and bolts, how do you approach a script when you first get your script? What is the first thing you do?
I'm laughing because I had a professor in college. Her name was Sharon Brady. I love her so much. We were doing, I think it was a script analysis class. And she goes, all right, guys, now I want you all to tell me, when you first get a script, she asked the very same question. When you get a script, you're about to prepare for a role, what do you do? First thing you do. We're like, identify the given circumstances. Okay, what else? Figure out our relationships between every character. Okay, good. What else? Yes. Figure out where our world is and maybe what objects we're connected to. Guys. You take the script and what do you guys do when you first look at the papers? You find all of your lines and you highlight them. I'm like, oh, we do that. So that's always something that makes me laugh every time I get that question. Like, yeah, I take my orange highlighter, which is always orange, by the way. Not sure why. It just feels right. And we highlight everything. So then we're like, okay, good. Okay, this is going to be a big scene. Oh, okay, we're going for a while here. Let's get that. So I think that's the first thing, but all of the other stuff is true for sure. I like to try and read it out loud. And if I ever have roommates or family around me, I will subject them to a table read. If there's no NDA, I'm like, all right, guys, we're going to read this. Let's go. We need to get this out in the space. So
they know when Jordan gets a script.
Yes. They're like, okay, here we go. Who am I today? My dad has been my reader for a lot of auditions too, so that's what I'll make him do. I'll be like, all right, let's go. It's a good time. My roommate in my old apartment, she read verticals with me too for like the table reads, so it's a good time, and we always have a lot of fun doing them. Yeah, and then I have like color tabs and everything. I mean, I get very type A about it, so there needs to be like an organization, especially with how fast everything moves.
How are you at memorizing? Is that a skill you had to develop, or you were just good at it, or?
I am. I will say, I will toot my own horn about this. I really do like memorizing. I think this goes back to high school. I had it wasn't English, it was a communications course. It was my junior year. We had 40 vocab words every week, and we had a test every week. So we have to like learn the name, learn the words, learn the definition. But taking the test, the questions were always very vague, and like you'd have to like fill in the blank of what the word was, but they were always like a little bit complex. But I figured out that the teacher took the words and he basically grouped the words in groups of 5, and he scrambled them and put them all around the test. So I figured out how he placed his test. And so then I not only memorized the words and their definitions, I memorized the order of them. And then that made scripts a piece of cake.
Oh, tips and tricks, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd with that kind of stuff.
And when you're talking about school, it reminds me of a recent role you have in The Chair.
Yeah.
On Netflix. And wow, what an amazing experience that must have been to be with Sandra Ho and
Holland
Taylor and Bob Balaban, I think. And so
it was that was my first big set as anything. I later did production assistant work for the big shows that came into town in Pittsburgh, because that was filmed in Pittsburgh. But that was the first time I was exposed to such a large machine that production was. And I think I remember I was 21 and I stepped onto set, and I just remember going, wow, this is what it's like. And like a trailer and like, all that good stuff. And then getting to be on set was really cool, because I had one line, but they let me run it as a series. So I got to get really exposed to like how the making of the donuts, right? Like how it gets made. And I nerd out about that stuff so much. So, and a couple of my friends were production assistants. So that was a really cool small world thing. Just like, oh, hey, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And the sets themselves being in that atmosphere, it looked like it was amazing fun.
We filmed at Chatham University in Pittsburgh. So it was cool to be able to see like a campus I've not been on before. And because of that, it felt really real.
What time of year was it filmed? It
was a February.
So, okay.
Yeah, it was
pretty cool. It's pretty cold.
Oh yeah. I have it was like a photo of me in the trailer, just with my like puffer coat, keeping warm. I'm like, this is cool. Just geeking out.
Yeah, I remember the first. I think that was the first shot I saw of you. You were not too happy sitting in the classroom.
I'm just like really moody in the corner.
Exactly.
Oh goodness. They were like, we just need this like angsty student here. And I remember while I was on set, one of my friends who was PAing, he like snagged like a little screen grab of like the monitor, and he's like, hey, look, we're getting your close up. And I'm like, not now. Like, focus. He's like, yeah, but look at how cool this is. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, but what an amazing experience to add to your repertoire of your independent films, which I'd love to go back to Ice Cream.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which the premise I love the
Thank
ice
you.
cream truck and
Yes, so that ice cream is a project. I'll tell the talented universe
yes,
fans out
please.
there. It was created by me and my co-creator Carlee Coulehan. It's about two best friends whose younger siblings get kidnapped by a paranormal ice cream truck, and we're really ill-equipped to be able to rescue them, but we're trying our darndest. So there's a lot of antics that ensue throughout the film, and oh my gosh, I have like chills up and down my arms right now because it was the first time I directed film. I got to produce it. We everything. We co-directed, co-produced, co-starred. I stunt coordinated. She edited, and it was. I love filmmaking so much, and it was like we had never done anything to like that big of a degree before. But she texted me. I remember I was flying home to Pittsburgh, and she was like, "Hey, you do horror films, right?" And I'm like, yeah, horror kind of happens to me, but like, yeah, I've done a few. What's up? And she goes, I have an idea. And so then the story of ice cream was born. A lot of like coffee filled writing sessions pursued. And then suddenly we were locking a picture car and doing an ice cream Indiegogo campaign and all of this crazy stuff. Got the cast of our dreams, the crew of our dreams. Oh my gosh. So many talented individuals. Filmed it in my hometown, which was also really special, and created something that I think we're really proud of. And now we are in festivals. We're coming to Glendale International, or an Indie Shorts Fest, and we have a lot of other announcements coming soon, hopefully. So, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of it.
Well, please keep us informed as to the progress and what happens next for you in that and in other areas. It's just so exciting to see your work. I really am. I'm enjoying it immensely.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to share it with everybody. I know that for Glendale International, it'll be sometime September 25 through 30, where you can see it in a theater. I haven't the official screening time yet, but as soon as we do, I'd love to let you guys know.
Yes.
I'd love to fill a theater. I would love to go.
Michael, or
yeah, I'm going to go with our last question.
Okay.
Comment. The Max Mounts wants to know, have you filmed in China yet?
Oh, no. I haven't, but where would I like to film a vertical?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear so many people say really great things about Vancouver. I think I would love to go to Vancouver.
Oh, so you haven't been to Vancouver either?
No, I haven't. I've been to Toronto.
You've been to Toronto,
like vacation stuff, but I haven't been to Vancouver. And I think there was a time for a while where I like, all of like the cool CW and sci-fi stuff is up there, where that's a bucket list item for me, where I'm like, guys, it looks so pretty. Look at all the pine trees and pretty water. Like, let me get there. I love that. And I'm like a lake gal too. So like anytime I can get around pine trees and water, I'm a happy camper.
There you go.
Go there.
And so nothing more exotic.
I don't know if there's much of a vertical market in Finland, but I would love to go to Finland.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Which also
all I know is there's a lot more countries that are starting to film them now than there were 6 months ago.
That's what I'm hearing. And that's so cool. I didn't know how, and again, like my eyes are really opening to just the whole like vertical system of just like we're shooting worldwide, there's screening worldwide, there's award ceremonies, there's conventions. Like, I mean, my mind is just blown.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing, and also it's these podcasts. Some of the guests that we've had on, I cannot pronounce the people's names that are in the chat room. They're from all over the world.
Wow.
All over the world.
How incredible is that?
Yeah, that is something. I mean, I always like it when I can pronounce the names, But if I can't, I go, wow, this thing is really having a worldwide reach.
There's something that, I mean, as cheesy as it is, I love that art brings people together like that from just different countries, different backgrounds, what have you. And we can all bond over this one thing. That's a really cool feeling.
It really is. Is there anything that we haven't brought up that you wanted us to bring up before we close up here?
Oh, I don't know, but I love that you guys hyped up our film that we made, Ice Cream. So thank you for that. I'm really excited about it. I think that's something that's really front of mind for me right now, because I'm meeting with Carlee next week to discuss like more social media campaign and stuff and what we're going to do with the festivals. Well,
if you'd like to come back on with Carlee and talk about Ice Cream more, we'd love to have you. So
I'll let her know. I think she'd love that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But everyone out there, thank you all for coming. We're going to be closing up now. And if I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry, but we had a limited amount of time today. But Jordan might be back on and talk about ice cream. So
I hope so.
And so that will be great. So everyone out there,
thank you so much, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for everyone. NDB Media, Talented Universe says thank you all of our people in the chat room and people who are going to watch this afterwards. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.